Hello guys, welcome back. Today we'll continue with this pandas numpy learning course. Okay, and we'll continue from last class. Last class we already introduced how to just build a very simple numpy array, how to check the numpy shape, also how to check the use D type to find out all elements within the numpy, right? So today we'll continue to how to generate the numpy. First of all, numpy is different compared with the Python basic list. Here's the Python list, right? You can see type data 1. This is basic Python list. But numpy provide a called numpy array command, which can help you to sorry, I haven't imported numpy yet. As numpy. This is traditional way. Usually you always use np to refer to numpy. Or later on when you import pandas, you always use the called pd to refer to pandas. And when you do the machine learning, when you do the deep neural network, when you import TensorFlow, you also use the TF. Of course, you can use the other name, but because this is a traditional way, and to let other people can easily to read your program, I suggest you use np here. So after that one, you can see now we can just to change it to convert it. And now you can see this is numpy array. This type, this is basic type layer, right? So also you can use it to see to check this basic element. One thing you can remember, yesterday I told you guys, for list, you can put a different type within the same list. Pandas, you can also do the same way, but for numpy is no. All elements should be the same. If you put a string and the integer in the same array, it will give you some exception error. But for sure, you can put the integer and the floating in the same array, just like here. But actually, the numpy will help you to do automatically change. You will just choose the which is more popular. Here, floating is more popular, so that's why he changed everything from integer to floating. You can see 6, you change it to 6 dot, right? So now also you can also support the like a 2 dimension. Like I say, list just 1 dimension. So when you change it to the numpy, you only the shape dimension is 1. But we can put a list within list. Then we do the same way, and we can do the same way. Like we can also change it. Like here, you can go to the 2 dimension array, right? So we can just use the shape command to check it. You can see it's 2 line, 2 row, 4 column. The first always mean how many row. The second is more how many column, right? So here is you can see this numpy is this shape. Also yesterday I told you if we want to check how many dimension numpy has, you can see use attribute called the ending, right? So here you see array 1 is from list, so it's this one's 1. And then if you use the array 2, type the same command, it will give you 2 dimension because it's 2 row, 4 column there. So here you can use the same, like the feature same shape. Also you can use D type to give you all the element the type layer. So that's why also from the other end you can see all element can only be 1 type. So that's why you typing L2 dot D type, you only give you 1 value layer. Except this regular method which you convert from list to the np array. The other numpy also has some building method, like this one is 0. This means they will just put everything is 0. Again, because you didn't define is integer or the floating, you by default will choose the more popular one, which is the floating. So you can see all integer will always follow also is 10 number 1 2 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? Total 10, but everything we just put 0 there. I also not only create the one dimension, you can also create a 2 dimension. So here you just create a 2 dimension. It's a 3 row 6 column layer, and everything still be 0, right? And also there's another one called once. Once just means from the net sheet you just create everything 1, right? This is a building or some natural function of the numpy, right? Another is called numpy empty. This one you can also, should be np.empty. This is another method help you to create to initiate the array. As you can see here, here's not, you cannot by default thinking everything is 0, right? No. For example, here the first element is some value, but it actually is called garbage value in the memory. The reason is that when you Ubuntu or no matter what kind of system running, they always has some memory which is not allocated. Then they already have some default value or reserve some value from last running status, right? But when you be released to save the resources, the system operation system didn't to do initiate, they just assign out. So that's why you claim a memory block in your memory, but actually all the element maybe has some random value there, not all 0, not all 1, but just leave some value from last running state. So it's your responsibility to make sure you need to initiate yet, or you need to reset everything to whatever value you want, right? So here's again, don't assume empty will help you to empty something. They just help you to create a 3-dimensional array, but for element we see it, no people can guarantee it. Okay, and also the other way is if you know Python, you know that the range command, right? Range like a 1, 10, right? For example here, and then you can list out, because the range from Python 3 it's just expression. You will not, it's just a generator, but you will not really create the really value to save the memory. So if you want to really see the inside value, you need to use the called list. This is the Python natural function called range, right? So numpy has almost a similar way. Just like I say, for all the Python function, especially related to the number, related to the mathematics, numpy always has almost a similar function layer. Only difference is that numpy is more efficient. So if you're running the same function, use a timer, then you can see the numpy always created within a very short time layer. So here just use the numpy building function called a range to create a 15. So from 0 to 14, but it's just some number layer. So here you can see, like I say, this one will create an integer, but also numpy also still has a lot of other function can initiate or generate an array. We will introduce the array, or also as array as in the other method, which will convert existing array to a new array. Also has 0, has 1, also has some list called empty, right? If you really want to know all of them, you can refer to the numpy website. But usually, as the beginner, if you only know the thing I show you above, I think this will also be okay. And then also now we can just also the other method when you create here the empty array, you can also define the type, right? Remember, if you didn't define yet, by default it's called floating 32 or floating 64. But for sure here you can just use the d type as one parameter to define the real type of the numpy. So here is a list, but we define the type is float for 34. So when you type in the array 1.d type, right? So you can tell you this is by default is float 64. But of course, you can define the first type to be this integer 32. So if you do this way, you can type again. You can see now you return the type is integer 32. Again, integer means type name, but 32 just means how many bits you assign to this value in the memory. So 32 just means the 4 bytes because the byte is 8 bits, right? So here is just a way to allow you to create a new array also with some specific specified type here. The type of, and numpy has a lot of the type, but as a beginner you only know integer, floating, string, and also like object. Object means if you don't care about the real type yet, you can use object to refer to whatever type. Also the other important thing is called Unicode, right? Unicode, you may know that this is very popular. A lot of string will be stored within the memory use Unicode because they are not only for English, they may be for whatever the language character like Chinese or Japanese. So they use Unicode to refer to special string there. Here I also just let you know another way how to do the type convert. For example, here I create a new numpy array. So we use the array type. You can see that by default is like an integer 64. This is the element type. But now for some reason maybe I need to combine with the other array. I try to convert all the element from integer to the floating. I can do this way. It's called the array.sType called np.floating64. Like here you will change all the integer to the float. But here you need to know that, for example, you can see here everything is not only integer but also dot follow yet. So let me already change the type. Also, you can use this one to verify. You see the float array, the type is floating 64. But here, remember one thing is if you go to the original d type, it still be integer 64. That means this function is not called in place function, right? You just change the existing one array, then create a new array, then assign the array to the new variable, right? Here's a new variable here. So, but it will not change existing one, so it's not an inline change actually. So now let's do the other way. Here we just change it from the integer to floating, so it's easy. Just change the expression there, right? But we can also change the other way. For example, here now by default, it's the floating 64, right? So I can also change it to this integer. But when you change integer, they for sure they need to do some conversion, right? Because 3.7 cannot be an integer. So numpy is a very simple way. They just do a track do a chunk. Right? You can see here chunk, right? So 3.7 go to 3, minus 1.2 go to minus 1, minus 2.6 become 2, minus 2. So here the trunk is not the traditional way. Traditional way, if you can see, if this number greater than 5, then the ceiling will become the minus 3, right? Also, especially for this one. 12.9, if you use the regular conversion, you will change it to 13, but here still be 12. 12 just we do a simple chunk to chunk everything behind the decimal, only reserve the number before the decimal. So here I can see I change it to this integer, and then the D type is integer 32. So this is how to do the convert between integer and floating, right? And also we can change it from between the string and the floating, and also between string and integer, as long as everything in the string they are just everything is composed by number. Of course, if you say if something is not number like 1.ab, this is not number, then you use the convert, then you will throw out an exception and tell you something wrong, right? So here you can see this. I define this one NP array, then I define and call the numeric underscore string dot as type floating. So here you can see here change everything to the new to the as floating. Again, here you will just return a new array. Then you can assign it to the new variable. But for original one, you can see still be the same. Still be the S4, S means string, right? So you can see here still has some quotation there. Because original one you will not be touched. You will only just change the original one, copy the original one first, then change the new one and change it from the string to the floating, or change the string to the integer. Okay, and then we can just continue to see more example. Here I will say that this NP arrange just a similar function in a range. So you generate about 10 array, new array there. So let's take a look. You can see that's 10 number, and also it's everything integer, right? So now let's try to change this one from integer to the floating. So here you can see something. You can see here only use .22, right? .270. Yeah, just ignore the 0 in front of this decimal, right? But it really doesn't matter. This one numpy can still understand yet, so still change it to convert everything to the floating, right? Still also this 0 is in the end, so it doesn't mean anything. So when you convert it to the standard numpy, you just ignore this 0 at the end. Now we just continue to change it. You can see what I try to say here is this one parameter, you have a lot of choice. One is directly put in a D type, like the floating, like the integer, or like the string, right? The other you can put in the object of the other array. So this numpy will automatically get the D type of the other parameter. Then just let this array to change to the same as the parameter. For example, this parameter is floating, right? So, but integer array, original, I can show you. Original is the integer. So you can just change it to the float array and throw back to you. But with the exact one, it didn't change anything. So I will show you again how to do the empty one. So here just do empty, and also the D type just uses the Unicode and 4 bytes, right? This is how you read the type. The first number means what kind of type. The second number means how many bytes empty, remember I told you it's didn't do initiate. You cannot guarantee everything is 0 or whatever detail value. You need to, it's your responsibility to reset all elements within the same array. So you can see here, I just define the type is U4. So when I log in, use this this one, you can see it just give you some randomly a number which may be left from last running state. Okay, now I will already just introduce the basic numpy type and how to convert between different one layer, right? So now we just try to introduce some really basic the operation of basic math for the numpy array, right? So for example, I just redefine the array is this dimensions 2, so it's 2 row and 2 and 3 column, right? So here you can just you can see the 2 row and 3 column here called numpy array, right? So we can do some math here called array multiply array. So you can see this is basically called broadcast or whatever is special in the numpy. Remember this calculation will be very fast. And in our example, only 2 rows, 3 column, you cannot see too many difference. But if you imagine if you already have some 1 million multiplied to 1 million another array, and if you use a for loop, you let you go through a lot of time. But use this one is very quickly and is very efficiently. Basically, this one is just to do the same position to the operation. For example, it's multiply, so array multiply array. So it's 1 multiply 1, 2, just like do some 2 times 2, 6 times 6, right? 3 times 3. So as long as the 2 array has same size, we can do this operation right away, right? Also the other just like equally not only times, we can do some minus, right? So minus, you can see everything go back to 0 because it's again they repeat the same operation for each element. Also, if you use a scalar, then you can use to broadcast the operation very quickly. So here we just do 1 divided by array. So you can see this one will very quickly give you the same size array and with the only the result in the array layer. So here's also give you more example. Here's array and use the power 0.5. So you can see 1 to the same is 1, and also 16 to the sensing is the is the 2, right? How can we let me find out why? Yeah. You can see the original array is 1, 2, 3, right? So 1 square is 1, 2 square is 2, right? 4 square is 4. So that's why you can see this. You can easily to do it so quickly. Okay. And before we finish it, we can just see one more example. Here we create a new array called array 2. Is a 2 dimension. And you can see 2 row and also the 3 column there, right? So we can do some compare. Okay, array 2 is this one, array 1 is another one. Array 1, let me see. Oh no, it's not array 1. Array. We'll do compare, make sure. Usually I think it should be the 2 array be compared. They should come from the same type layer. So we can use this command called array 2 greater than array. Then you'll give you some boolean array. Like again, here it's just for the this will repeat, go through all elements. We will compare one by one, right? For example, the array 2 in this position, is the 0. So 0 greater than 1, so of course it's false, right? Then take this one example. This one array is 4, array 2 is 7, so 7 is greater than 4, so that's why here put the true here. So you can see here just give some very basic example to show you how easily and we use the numpy and how efficient it is. And later on we will continue with more the advanced topic and just give you more example there. Thank you for watching today. Thank you. Bye bye.